Where are my Democrat colleagues who served in uniform to stand up and rise above petty politics, to do the right thing? Have you not gone home to your districts to hear from your military communities, from your federal workers? Have you not listened to your local communities telling you to stop the nonsense? No. You know what? They're not there. They're in New York City campaigning for Mamdani. Maybe they've orchestrated this so that they had the time to go campaign for an outright socialist. Maybe this was orchestrated so they could go do that. Now, this isn't the party of JFK anymore. This is the party of Schumer and Mamdani, the party that bows to the radical left. I hope that everybody can see the split screen of what's happening in this country. The Speaker has so eloquently talked about the fact that Republicans are doing our job to take care of families, that over 13 times the Senate Republicans have voted to fund our military, to fund TSA, to make sure our Border Patrol can get paid and all federal workers can get paid, and Democrats continue to obstruct. I hope you can see the dichotomy between the two sides here, and I'm calling on Democrat members, especially those who served in the military, to do the right thing.
Democrats sourced in the Hill article last week that we talked about, quote, "We would have enough votes to reopen the government if people were not terrified of getting the guillotine." This is Democrats being afraid of their own base because their base is so radical that they're afraid of their base. The American Federation of Government Employees, we talked about this yesterday, came out and said, quote, "It's time to pass a clean continuing resolution and end this shutdown today. No half measures and no gamesmanship." Rep. Amelia Sykes said, quote, "We know that people are going to suffer if we don't open the government. People will go hungry." Well, she knows it. She's causing that hunger, but let's put a point on this. In an ABC article regarding the 42 million Americans that are going to lose SNAP benefits next week, Joel Berg, who's the CEO of the nonprofit Hunger Free America, said this, quote, "We are going to see the greatest hunger crisis since the Great Depression." And that's not hyperbole, that's just true. The greatest hunger crisis since the Great Depression, when 42 million people lose their SNAP benefits this weekend. What are these Democrats waiting for? This is not a game. This is not leverage. They're taking food off the table for families, for babies. It's disgusting. It's time to end the madness.
Enough is enough. You're playing politics with people's lives, and as Leader Scalise and the Speaker have reminded us, for what? So that you can appease the radical, pro-terrorist wing of your party, so that you can fundraise off of picking a fight with President Trump. It's not worth it. In fact, it's despicable and downright wrong. There's a nonpartisan government funding bill waiting in the Senate to be sent to President Trump's desk immediately. It will come to the floor for a vote for the 13th time this morning. Put an end to the madness. Do the right and reasonable thing that you did back in March, by the way, and vote yes on our clean CR. Instead of complaining about a new White House ballroom, how about you try doing your actual job and reopen the government for the people you were elected to serve?
President Trump and the Republican Party achieved some very important historic things in the last election cycle. We had a true demographic shift in the election. We had a record number of Hispanic and Latino voters, for example, who came into the Republican Party, record number of African-American black voters, Jewish voters, union workers, young people, demographics that had not traditionally in recent years been with the Republican Party in large numbers, and they came to us not reluctantly, but with hopeful anticipation. Why? Because they wanted a return to common sense. And they saw what the other party had done to them with their terrible policies and their terrible ideas and the radical, woke, Marxist, progressive agenda, and they realized it didn't work for them. So they came to us and they said, "Can you do better?" Well, we did. We have. And we passed the one big beautiful bill, the working families tax cut, and all of our legislation and everything the president's done with executive orders, fulfilling his promises, are codifying those things and doing the rest of our legislative agenda, which is being held up right now because of this. We're delivering for those people. So it is not a surprise to me that union workers would come enthusiastically supporting common sense. What we're asking for here is common sense. They're supporting the party, they're supporting the president because they know who's working for the American people and who is not, who is causing and inflicting pain on the American people. The contrast has never been more clear. We say all the time, this is not your father's Democratic Party. I grew up in Louisiana. When I was a kid, I didn't even know a Republican. Literally, like everybody was Democrat. And, you know, the Southern Democrats, you know, conservative Democrats down in Louisiana. That party doesn't exist anymore. My grandfather would not recognize what this party has become. He would clearly, they'd all be Republicans because the Republicans stand on the side of common sense and working families, hardworking, middle class, lower class earners in the country. We drafted the working families tax cut to be geared for them, to help them. And we infused the legislation with all this pro-growth policies so that all boats will rise. People see that. They see the effects. Ideas have consequences, my friends. And the policies and ideas that are advanced by the Republican Party are right for America because they comport with our founding principles, and we stand on those principles to defend them. And by contrast, on the other side of the screen, they're going for communism and Marxism. Take your choice.